All right, what's up, everybody? I'm going to talk to you guys about Microsoft E3. I'm actually pretty excited because there was a lot of stuff on there. That specifically the fact that what is it, Xbox Game Pass. I kind of want to talk about that, but a little bit later. I want to talk about the games first. So I'm just going to kind of go in order because that's how I want to. I'll talk about the games I want to talk about. Whatever. Halo Infinite. All right, Halo Infinite. Okay, so purposely I have kind of avoided all trailers for a lot of games besides Battlefield 5. I was super excited about that one. And I was trying to go off of just like the information given at E3 to try to like see what's like the most important stuff that they want to broadcast out to the community sort of thing. And Halo Infinite, I was super excited because I was like, all right. As soon as I saw the light coming down from that little cave thing, it gave me a very Halo feel because how many times are you like jumping into a vertical cave in those games, you know? And I was like, all right, let's see where they're going to go with this because it kind of looks like they've got this, like a new ring, or if it's like, I don't know if it's prequel or like supposed to be afterwards. I could not tell, but I'm super excited because like everything looks super crisp and like just, I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I want to see what they're going to do because honestly, I haven't played Halo 5. So, I don't know. Halo 4 is kind of where I dropped off and I was like unsure about where the series is going. So I want to see what they do with Halo Infinite, see if it's going to be any good. And then what was the next one? Ori and the Will of the Wisps. All right, cool. So this kind of looks like, I don't know how much you guys like movies, but like The Secret of Nim was that old like mouse movie. They're like all magical and stuff like that. So think Secret of Nim plus like Bridge to Terabithia, and that's how I thought of like Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I thought that's what that looked like, and I was like super excited because like Doug has gotten me into lots of like platforms and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, cool. I mean, he's got me into like 3, but like that's a lot more than I've touched in ages since like playing Donkey Kong on like a Nintendo DS. So it's cool. It's like I like this new sort of new experience to games that I'm getting out of this. And I want to see where this goes. Hope I don't say that too many times. Yeah. And then let's see, what's the next one? Fallout 76. I will be completely honest, I really did not ever play Fallout. But I love prequels. That being said, I didn't play that Borderlands prequel, but that's just because things. Fallout 76 looks pretty cool, though. I like how it's gigantic. I'm very familiar with Skyrim because I've been playing that for years, and if Fallout is anything like that, which I've heard it's a lot like that, I'm going to be super excited to dig into that when I get a chance. But like, yeah, I don't know a lot about Fallout. It looks so cool. But I can't stop playing Skyrim for the life of me. I'm addicted to it. We'll say that. And we'll move on from there. Captain Spirit. Yeah, that's probably the most wholesome thing I've seen in 2018. Like, it's like, as opposed to another like FPS or I don't know, I guess sort of violent video game. It's really cool to see like a completely different sort of thing where it's like, all right, is it going to be like half of the things are imagined and half the things are just reality? Or yeah, I want to see where they take that. Like if this kid actually gets some sort of magical powers transported somewhere else, or if it's all just like within the mind of a child sort of thing, which is really cool because it's like, oh, I remember when I used to be a creepy, weird little kid playing pretend alone in the yard. Those were the good days. Sticks were lightsabers and all that stuff. Anyways, okay. Crackdown 3, that was the next one on my list. That's going to be awesome because I have been watching so much Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently that some other avenue for me to get Terry Crews in my life is it's just going to be pretty good, you know. I need another source. And it's very like kind of Tron Legacy looking, which I've always liked that sort of art style of like using light, like neon lighting for trim and stuff like that. It's very badass, very cool techno, lots of explosions and moving around, kind of like like if you took Tron Legacy and smashed it together with like Lost Planet or any of those games, like that sort of almost goofing off but still like bigger, larger than life battles. That's something to look forward to. Is just that sort of crazy scale, less serious, kind of just like dicking around. Good stuff. So Metro Exodus is one that That's the next one I'm going to talk about. It kind of, yeah, like, I'll probably reference Borderlands too much, but it looked like Russian horror Borderlands. Yeah, which I'm all about. So, um, yeah, it's just like, there's so much to kind of get into in that trailer. There's a lot of weird, like, smash cut sort of things going on. But, like, I think the best part of the trailer is, like, either the flying gargoyle monster or the fact that you have the ability, even if it's only once, to light a giant spider web on fire in that doorway. Like, if that's like a regular game mechanic, like every time you get to a giant wall of spider webs, I'm pretty much fine with that. But at the same time, if you only get to do it once, it's just like, yeah, you still got it. It's like, yes, burn the spiders, get them away. Don't need to be here anymore. Yeah, it's kind of a lot. At first, I actually thought I was super excited. I was like, is this also part of Battlefield because trains and stuff? But no, it wasn't. It was just an angry Russian dude, which is, yeah, the antagonist in a lot of things. Or maybe he's a protagonist in this one. I don't know. Maybe I've just been watching too many old movies. So, the next thing I want to talk about is Kingdom Hearts 3. So, look, I have played a very small amount of Kingdom Hearts a long time ago at summer camp for like 2 weeks. And oh, whoops, I'm not supposed to say that. Whatever. Editing. And anyway, and I loved it. I really loved Kingdom Hearts. Like, it was a very, like, it was a cool thing. It was like, honestly, I just like playing with Goofy. He was really cool. It's like, hey, I have a buddy now with me. It's Goofy. I was a young kid when I played these games first, or I guess I don't even know which one it was, honestly. But it was fun. Like, and I like the way that they've retained this sort of art style, and everything is true to each of the characters. They haven't made like all of them in one specific way. It's everyone's got their own thing going on, which is very Disney, very wholesome. Which I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited to see Doug's reaction to this game. He's probably going to pee all over himself, and I'm for that. Next thing on my list is Sea of Thieves, which I thought that was pretty awesome. The fact that they totally broke that fourth wall there. It's like, oh, you just want to see how much it's worth. Okay, cool. Like pawn shop style. It's like, oh, I can only give you a nickel for it. Which, wait, she only gives them like, I think she said something 10. I heard 10. Just like, oh, cool. Yeah, this is just this doomsday device, little portal into the future vision thing, and you're gonna give me like essentially a Sea of Thieves dime for it. Like, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know, man. That's just how I get mad with vendors in video games. You spend all this time going out to get some random awesome thing, like the Dragon Blade, Skyrim Armor, or whatever Dragon's Bane, and they give you like, okay, I'll give you like 100 gold for it. It's like, cool. So I'm glad someone in a trailer was finally like, hey, yeah, we do that on purpose, so you play more. Or something like that. I guess maybe that's their idea. I don't know. They're all evil. Todd Howard, you son of a bitch. Anyways, going back to the game I keep getting all excited about, Battlefield 5. Honestly, they could have just like finished that same version of Seven Nation Army over a clip of just the flame trooper teabagging and spinning in circles, and I'd be just as sold on Battlefield 5. But that's not like to downplay like the cinematic trailer they had, which looks great. I want to see like that female lead played out too. It's like, especially if she's the same badass with the forehand from the other trailer, like I want to see like, oh, what happened to her hand, like, let's go. And like, I don't know, I just like it just calls back to like old COD missions in the campaigns. It's just going through trees and stuff like that. I really like those sort of like undercover missions. So I guess it's the same thing as like guiding the Black Bess and Battlefield 1. But still, I love that mission. It's probably the most recent campaign mission I've played. I want to see more of that sort of on your own lone wolf kind of stuff, of like sneaking around. Goodness, I want it. And the next thing I want to talk about was We Happy Few. I've seen a little bit about this game like over the past while. I don't know. I'm like a dog. I don't really have a good sense of time. Could have been a couple weeks ago. Could have been like 2 years ago. Who knows? I couldn't tell you. But yeah, this is a strange game, and I'm really excited for it because it's like, do you go cold turkey, stop taking drugs, and then get caught? Yes. If you get caught up in taking too many drugs, you get caught some other way. You have to try to find this happy medium, it sounds, of like taking the drugs and kind of like being part of the community, very like undercover sleuth sort of sneaking around, detective style sort of thing, or it's like there's mysteries to uncover, and I want to see that because like I've always been fond of like puzzles in games, sort of like I don't know, like what got me into that was like playing Spyro when I was a kid, when I was like 5 years old. Before I went to I think 4 or 5 years old, or was I 3? I don't know. No way, maybe 4. But yeah, I beat Spyro before I started kindergarten. Like puzzle games like that are just there. Well, that's what I'm about, man. I'm about it, but not too hard because I'm also kind of like playing video games to be dumb and do nothing. So it's like, yeah, don't make it too hard. Give me something I can solve in like 3 tries. And then PUBG. Let's just see where this goes with PUBG. It's PUBG. A lot of people play it. I don't know it that well. I think I've played it a couple of times, like PUBG Mobile. Yeah, I played that, but not like real PUBG. So I don't know. I was trash at it. Not my place to talk about it. That's kind of where I'm going with that. Anyways, Tunic. Yeah, that one with the little fox. It's so cool. Like, it's kind of like almost a 3D platformer, which is like, oh, is that just a video game? It's like, no, it's different. It's different. It's like, honestly, like, it's like the Game Boy Advance version of Spyro, where it's like kind of 3-dimensional, kind of still 2-dimensional somehow, but there's a lot of like good art in that game, which I appreciate, just because I like when things look cool. Like, who are you guys to tell me I can't say when I appreciate art for the sake of being art? Maybe a nerd, but I do love the finer things in life, like good cheese. I don't know what fine things are. Maybe I do. I don't know, man. Anyway, the game looks pretty cool. Like, I've always been a fan of like medieval swords and shields and bows and arrows and stuff like that. So I want to see what they're gonna do with this little like almost Link looking fox thing running around cutting grass and stuff like that. Okay, The Division 2. I want to talk about The Division 2. That one looks pretty cool. I feel bad that I haven't played the first game, because if it still follows that sort of, I'm sure it does, that sort of like fallen empire of the entire United States, like everything's all, it's like all ragtag and sort of thing. Like, I really like that. But what I didn't like is that, honestly, it's just one small cosmetic thing. Other than that, I think I would really love playing this game. Like, learn how to throw your own grenades, honestly. Like, come on, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a stickler. Who knows? I don't know, but I really like that game because I like the whole idea, like, just running around, you and a group of people, like, kind of like, the whole underdog feel, I guess, of it. Something I think I'm going to really appreciate out of that game. Also, Xbox Game Pass is going to ruin my life, because not having a game is, well, it's like whatever. Not having some sort of game that I wanted to play is like 99% of the problem, like in terms of me not playing a game at any given time. So there's that. Also, what was it? Dying Light 2. I wanted to talk about that one. That one looks really awesome because of all like the choices and stuff that you get out of it, and the fact that you can really develop the world into your own sort of thing, depending on your choices. Like, it really gives the game like good replay value, because like, okay, I can do 4 or 5 things differently in the very beginning of the game, and then suddenly it's an entirely new game, which is cool, because like, it's like you're playing a new game. It's like it's just a new experience, and you get to sit there and experiment with all the choices you make until you really like find out exactly what you wanted to do with the game. That's something that's sort of trial and error, something that I really like. Also, I'm starting to get into zombie games because one of my buddies forced me to play all of The Last of Us in one night, and it was kind of a lot. The last time we did something like that, we played Portal, which now I like the Portal games. I think those are cool. So it's like, I mean, that was a way to get into it, but you know, I don't know. I'm excited to see where another zombie game goes, where hopefully there's some whole dynamic of like getting around all the zombies or killing them all, or something. I'm just excited. It's like, I'm just waiting on Xbox Game Pass at this point. And then that last one that they showed, Cyberpunk, I think it was. Yeah, Cyberpunk. That one was awesome. It's kind of like Ready Player One and GTA, almost. I guess. Really, I don't know. I've never seen anything for that game before this, so yeah. Hopefully, it's all something really awesome, which it looks like. It looks like lots of running around, big explosions, which is, it's like the best part of video games. Well, alright, that's all I had to talk to you guys about, so see y'all later.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the Sony press conference that was the last big conference in the main set of conferences, excluding Nintendo. That was kind of during the week of E3. So Sony, they opened in a giant tent structure kind of thing. And right away, they said they'd be doing things differently this year, which I'm surprised because Sony has had a really good track record the past few E3s with just showing a lot of games and just being really smart with their decisions about the conference itself. And this year, I don't think they really did that. They tried to hype up one game a bit too much, which was The Last of Us 2, which is why they opened in this tent. So they brought out a banjo player who played for about 5 minutes, and he was playing like a different rendition of the Last of Us theme. So you heard core elements that were similar to the original but different enough. And then that went to the Last of Us 2 trailer, which opened with a cutscene. Um, so the tent they started the conference in, it's actually the tent that you see in the Last of Us 2 opening trailer cutscene part. Um, so they showed some basic character interaction, uh, focused on Ellie. We saw Glenn from The Walking Dead. He's in this. That's cool. I think it was him. And then I forget the name of the other character, but Ellie dances with a girl and then they kiss, and then uh, it pans around Ellie's head, and then it cuts into gameplay, and it honestly looks so incredible. This is a game I can't wait to get my hands on. I played the original Last of Us game, and it was incredible. I loved it, and I haven't played it in a while, but it just it's so beautiful. Even the PS3 one was beautiful, but I'm happy that we're gonna get this soon enough. The gameplay, it was hard to tell a lot with what was QuickTime events and what was regular gameplay, just because everything was so fast and like clean. I'm not sure if it was QTEs with eliminated prompts, edited out prompts, um, but for the most part, I think it was like just regular gameplay. Everything was a lot more brutal. There was a clip I'll cut to in the video where um, Ellie shoots an explosive uh, arrow at a guy, and you just see blood cover the wall and the floor around him, basically, and it's crazy. There wasn't any infected shown, which I was kind of surprised about, and the gameplay looked super smooth, like you'd expect from Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is one of the best developers out there. And then after that, they had a 15-minute intermission. So within that 15 minutes, they didn't really talk about too much. Um, they talked about Black Ops 4, and they're remastering 4 Black Ops maps to go into the game. And then they announced Black Ops 3 is free for PlayStation Plus users for the month until July 12th or 11th. I'm not sure about the day exactly, but free until then. Um, then they showed a few games like really quickly. Nothing. Well, one of them was big, and I'm surprised they didn't go more into it. Which was Days Gone. They said they'd be focusing on Days Gone more this year, but they really didn't. That's all they showed of it. Just a little, like, 30-second clip for it. Then they showed a game called Twin Mirror, Ghost Giant, which is a VR game, and Beat Saber, which is a pretty popular VR game right now. It's getting a PS VR port. Then they showed a little bit of the Destiny 2 expansion called Forsaken, where it wasn't really anything big. They showed Cade getting killed. That was really it. Um, Nothing else. Then they went back to the main conference after they'd moved everyone. So they moved everyone from the tent to a different theater to show everything else. Um, then they showed a guy playing a windpipe for 3 minutes without any footage, which I think, like the banjo, was kind of stupid. It set the mood, but it wasn't necessary whatsoever. Then they announced, to go along with that guy playing the windpipe for 3 minutes, they announced Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch. So it's a samurai game. Combat looked really clean, and the environments were beautiful. They had a scene where there was just a one-on-one duel going on with the sunset going down, with the sun going down behind them, and then you see arrows getting shot at them, and they're just encased in fire basically. So they're fighting in a giant circle of fire, and it just looks so beautiful. Um, After that, they went into Control, which is a game that looks pretty similar from Quantum Break, which it comes from the same studio, so it doesn't surprise me. And it looked real good. Quantum Break looked good too, so it doesn't surprise me really. Nothing, no real overhauled graphics or anything that make it look way better than that. So not too crazy. Then they cut into uh, a trailer where you were kind of running around as like some sort of small rodent. So you're just in like a storage room basically. It has a bunch of old like non-perishable food items. So like you climb up one of these shelving units they have, and then like you hear a little like grapple going on. The guy, a cop says, "You're under arrest. Don't move." Then he was like, "What's going on?" Basically, and then you see the rodent fall, and then the shelving fall on top of it, and then it pans away and it shows a dead mouse. Then it pans up more and it shows a guy getting his neck bit by a zombie, and then it just shows Leon Kennedy just blasting him in the back of the head. So that's how they announced the Resident Evil 2 remake, which comes out in January 25th. Um, it looks really cool. It has the Resident Evil 4 style gameplay, which I wasn't a huge fan of, just because I don't like that type of control where it's super tanky. Um, that's all they had for that. Then they showed Trover Saves the Universe, which is a game from Justin Roiland, who's the creator of Rick and Morty, and it's an action platformer. It looks pretty goofy and fun, so that'll be exciting. Then they showed a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, which I was super hyped for. They showed Pirates of the Caribbean, which is cool. Not the pirate franchise, pirate movie I wanted. I wanted Treasure Planet just because I think that's a really underrated movie that I'm one of the one who I'm one of the ones who believes that Disney kind of tried to get that movie to flop just because release windows and stuff, and like they released it the same week as Harry Potter, so it's like which one of those is going to get better views or better ticket sales? Of course, Harry Potter. But yeah. So yeah, it sounded like Johnny Depp was actually voicing Captain Jack. I'm not super sure about that, but it definitely sounded like him. And then the detail in this trailer, once again, incredible. Square Enix knows how to nail the detail in this movie. You could like see the stitching on Sora's like hat and his jacket and stuff, and it was awesome. And then they showed some ship combat, which okay, um, I'm. It looks good. I'm not a huge fan of the ship combat stuff, but it looks good. Then they had underwater combat. Once again, I'm not a huge fan of underwater combat just because it's been not great in the past for a lot of games, but hopefully it's good. And then everything else was basically repeated. And then they announced that Kingdom Hearts all in one package. So this package includes Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 HD Remix, which is 6 games. Two of them are just cut. The two DS games are just cutscenes. So, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final chapter prologue. I think that's like the full title of it. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 when that comes out. So you get the 1.5 plus 2.5 HD remix and 2.8 right now. And then once Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, you get that as well. And I think it's $100 on the PlayStation Store. So I think it's a good way to get more people into the game. Just because if you haven't played it, but this game looks cool, or maybe for kids even, like, hey, this is something kids could play now who didn't grow up with it. And then they went into Death Stranding, which I still I it's Kojima, so it's gonna be a crazy game. I don't necessarily like those games. I tried playing um, Metal Gear Solid 5, and that was just the first hour of it was like, what's going on? This is too hectic. Like it just didn't make sense to me. So I wasn't super into it. It was too confusing to what like get someone into the story. There wasn't too much story to start off. It was just a giant fire person that you had to fight, and it was just confusing. So we found out that he carries packages, the main character, and makes deliveries around the area, whatever areas he's in. And I think he used the baby to help detect the floating like enemy things, but I don't know. There hasn't like there's no real info about what's going on in this universe, so I have no clue. Um, then they went into another trailer, or they announced Neo 2. I liked the samurais and the mythology around that, so it looks cool. I haven't played the first one though, but I don't know. It maybe I'll get the first one because that'll probably get a price drop here soon, but I don't know. I probably won't play it. Spider-Man, the new Insomniac game, they showed a lot more villains. So they showed Electro, Scorpion, Vulture, and Rhino. We'd already seen Mr. Negative in last year E3 uh, trailer, but they announced four more villains. Gameplay looks super smooth. It's got the Arkham style fighting, which I'm kind of over at this point, but it's the Arkham style fighting, so it's gonna be cool. Um, the gameplay looks super smooth. Uh, so the one thing I heard in one of the interviews in the past week was that different suits have different abilities, but once you unlock the suits, you can customize those abilities to different suits. So say you really like one suit more, you can use that. But you like the ability of a different suit, you can use that a bit. You can transfer that ability to the suit you like instead of the suit you don't like as much. I believe that's the new, like that's the explanation for that. Then they have like the super moves, like the web blossom that was shown in the trailer, and that's how Sony ended their conference. They ended it really abruptly. They didn't show. They said they'd be focusing on 4 games, and they didn't really. I think that maybe they could have been trying to throw us off when they said they'd be focusing on 4 games, or they just saw the other conferences like Xbox and they realized, hey, we have to compete. We can't just show 4 games when Microsoft's doing like 18 world premieres. We can't just do that. Um, but yeah, that's how they ended their conference. A few things they had these weird little like animations playing instruments to like lead into the games, which was kind of weird. I believe I heard that those are like characters from a VR game they're making soon. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what I heard about those guys. But I don't know. It was just a really disappointing conference. I don't think they needed to change the formula like they did. The last few conferences were really good. We didn't see anything like Spyro, which I was kind of surprised about. But other than that, not too much. Overall, E3 was pretty good this year. A few games I really wanted to see. Skate 4 was the main one, but other than that, it was a good E3. So nothing really to be mad about. So we're gonna end the video here. If you liked it, subscribe. More content from us soon. Um, and we'll see you guys next time.